Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Maker Hour. It's officially episode 5. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Emily, also known as That Mom with a Laser. And this is our midweek reset. This is time where myself and my shop mates and some of my laser friends, or UV printing friends, or just maker friends in general. Oh, goodness. This is when we just we shut down for a little bit and we connect with you guys. And we love that about what we're doing here. So, a couple of things here. I'd like to keep you guys in the loop with my newsletter every week. And those of you who have been reading it know what I share there. Sometimes I don't share here publicly. So, if you're not familiar with my newsletter, right here. It's this QR code that you see on the screen. You want to screenshot that and newsletter so you get updates all the time. And this time, is everything okay? My audio's going in and out. Jeez Louise, listen, guys. I tell you, we're working hard on the audio, but I just heard that I'm going in and out. Bear with me. Okay, so what's going on today? First of all, Amanda, who's usually here with us, she's not feeling well today. So if you want to send her some love in the chat, I'm sure she'll stream in when she's feeling better. Let's wish her, well, that she feels better soon. So it's me, Sarah, my shopmate, and then we have a special guest. Oh, why is the mic going in and out? A special guest today, my very good friend Michael Millings from Laser Engraving 911. And he's got a lot of cool things going on, so I wanted him to come on the show and tell you guys all about it. So I'm going to welcome everybody up. Hey, guys.
Hey, I was listening to the audio and I was like, I wonder if it's her noise canceling. If you have that turned on, it might be like canceling you instead of the noise. That's what it sounds like.
Doesn't it? You know what it is? I think what's happening.
Now you sound great. Now you sound great.
You know what it was? I had YouTube on in the background, and the show started, and I thought it was an echo. It was the show streaming.
Now I'm so good at got it. You sound great now.
Thank you. Good. All right. So, really quick, Sarah, say hi. Sarah's a regular here at the shop.
Hi, everybody.
Sarah, what are you working on today, Sarah? I know that
we are cutting some more signs for a cut and paint parties for this one customer that continues every month. She orders different themes. So right now we're doing summer stuff. So we have a watermelon, a pineapple, and an American flag like heart that we're doing. So we just cut it out, score it, and when they get it, they paint them. So they're fairly easy jobs most of the time. I actually like it because they're easy. I set it runs for a half hour. It gives me lots of signs and I'm done.
You're just on laser watch, right? Like
that's it. Just make sure everything runs right. That's what's running in the background if you can hear it. Yeah.
All right. So we got the laser going, and then we got my good friend Michael. Michael, thanks for coming on the show.
Yes. Of course.
I love having you here. Can you introduce yourself and tell everybody what's going on over at Laser Engraving 911?
Yeah. So I am the host of the channel Laser Engraving 911 over on YouTube, where we talk about lasers. We do crazy laser stuff. I show you hacks, new ideas. I review equipment. I love coming up with new laser engraving like ideas and stuff. That's one of my favorite above product reviews and stuff like that. Like I love finding out something that makes my job easier and then hopefully your job easier and sharing it with you. That's like my favorite thing to do over there. And what's going on over here today is actually I'm not doing a lot of lasering. The last 2 days I had 2 mobile laser engraving events. Oh. One was a big one that I do every year at a college, which I'm going to release a video about it because we definitely did not go smoothly.
Oh, so no.
I'm going to share that we pulled it off anyway, but it had a lot of things, and I think it was worth a video. And then last night, I did another mobile laser engraving event for my local networking group, and I got to have a table showcasing what we do at Sonoma Laser. By the way, I didn't mention that. I own my own laser engraving business full-time, Monday through Friday, and I got to showcase in front of other business owners what we do, and I lasered these business card holders live and put their monogram on them, why we talked about what we did, and it was amazing. So I'm just coming back from all that, and I'm here to talk with you about
I'm
whatever.
exhausted just listening to you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It sounds like so much fun, though.
Yeah. It was a blast. Yeah.
Oh, look who's here. Hey, Rich.
Oh yeah. Hey, what's up? Louisiana hobby guy in the house.
Yeah. Michael, so when you say mobile event, like you actually have like a laser engraving truck that you're taking around, or like you're just going there?
No, we just bring the equipment and we set up. Like, so for the college event, every year, Emory College, which is a huge college in the Atlanta area, they have me come out for the seniors, and we bring ultraviolet lasers, UV lasers, and we engrave Coke bottles, full and empty, live for the students with their name and the year that they graduate on them. And they love it. I've been doing it for 4 years now, and it's crazy. There's like hundreds and hundreds of students. We have like multiple machines, 2 machines going, and we just bring the equipment. We set up a tent, and we take orders at the front table, and we just start laser engraving bottles like nonstop for 3 hours. It doesn't stop for 1 single second. It's crazy.
That's
and then
amazing.
Yeah, so I just bring the equipment out, and we set up little tables, and we do live engraving events.
So did you take your X tool for that? What did you use?
I took the Com Marker UV.
Oh, sorry.
And I took the X tool
okay.
F2 Ultra UV. I took 2. This event required 2 UVs and 2 operators running nonstop. Yeah. So before, I've taken the Epilogue, believe it or not, the small Epilogue, and done CO2 there too. That was big though, really big equipment. So if I can get it smaller, it's much better for transporting.
Yeah, I can't even imagine the logistics of having to show up with like a larger CO2. Speaking of Emory, you know, my grandfather, he retired from there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I have a special place in my heart for Emory University.
It's a huge, huge campus, really nice campus. Yeah. And the students are always so nice. They're very polite. They're not, I mean, everybody's waiting for their bottle to get done, but it's like they're always so polite. Like, one of the students even came by and were like, "Hey, you guys look hungry. Can I bring you some food?"
Aww.
You know, I was like,
That's
"Yes, please."
Heidi wants to know, how do you like your Com Marker UV?
I've had it for well over a year. In fact, you've seen me use it in my Laser Maker Con demo, where we engraved wine bottles and glass and paint filled it. It's still working today. I have had 0 issues with it, and it is probably one of the most stable machines that I've had. I love it.
Speaking of Laser Maker Con, for those of you that don't know, that is the virtual conference that I host every year. You see the little widget up there. You can screenshot that too. Michael is coming back. What are you going to teach us this year at LMC?
This year, I thought it would be fun to actually show everyone projects that we've actually worked on and talk about different things that we laser engrave here in the shop, how we, you know, what we charge, of course, what we charged for the job and why, but actually show you pictures of how they came out, what the project was, and then talk about which machine we used to finish the project and why we picked that specific machine to do the certain projects, whether it was a fiber laser or a UV laser or a CO2 laser, and just basically break down a bunch of real jobs with real pricing and real equipment. That's what it's going to be about.
That's going to be a great video.
Yeah.
I can't wait. You know, it kind of reminds me. Go ahead, Sarah.
It's great because pricing is always a question across the board. Like any projects that you're doing, people are always stuck on, how do I price this? I don't, you know, and I find that question very hard, even with me and Emily. Sometimes it's, you know, are we doing too low? Are we doing too high? You know, what's the market? You know, I think it depends on where you live out in the country. So I think that's going to be a great information for people.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Pricing is always a huge, no matter if it's a online event or an in-person event, like, you know, pricing's always a weird thing, and it changes from area to area. You know, certain markets you can charge a little bit more. Some places, I've seen comments on my videos when I talk about pricing, and that's highway robbery. How could you charge that much for for that. That's ridiculous. I could never get that much. And when I hear that, when I hear I could never get that much, it makes me wonder if that person has been undercharging themselves for a very long time and were too nervous to actually charge what the service was worth. And it's just shocking to them to hear that they could have gotten double or triple the amount for that one single item. And I kind of feel bad for them because I'm like, yes, you can charge that much, and they will pay for good work and quality, delivery times, and good customer service. People will pay.
You know what I found is another challenge with pricing, especially if you are in the maker space. We're constantly making different types of things that have different values. And I think like when you're really good at something, you become a master at pricing it. Like, its value, your value. But when you're constantly bringing in new things, you don't know the market, right? You're testing it out. You're even testing your own skill on things. So sometimes that slows you down because it's like, oh wait, for example, we had a see, like when I started the painted tree and we got so many painted tree sign orders. Like, now pricing signs that's probably one of the easiest things for us to do because we make them all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas when I'm just bringing up something new, then it takes me a while to figure out what I want to price it at,
Yeah, I hear that too. And it also is different on the different type of, product centric versus customer centric, which I did a whole talk on. I do a lot of customer centric stuff. So my pricing structure probably varies a lot from the type of products that you're making. And it fluctuates, but they have pros and minuses. If any of you haven't watched that talk, it's up on my channel. And it's a really good talk about pricing and how it differs and the pluses and minuses of the two different business models.
It's a good one. Can you link it for everyone?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Put it in the chat window.
All right. So I really want to talk about one of the main reasons we have you here today, but I kind of want to lead into it with a story. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for those of you that may or may not know, okay, Sarah and we have been very good friends for a very long time. Actually, I often say, so when John and I got married, I moved away and it was really hard for me to make friends and for a long time. And I remember my mom telling me, you will make some of the best friends that you have ever made when you become a mother. And she was right, because 1 week after my baby boy was born, I went to a cloth diapering meetup and I met Sarah, her son was born a day before mine. And we have been wonderful friends ever since. And so, long story short, Sarah works as your full-time nurse practitioner. And several years ago, I wanted to build Laser Launch Academy, my CO2 course, but I needed help and I needed somebody who understood me and just vibed with me really well. Like, it is true or false, Michael. It's not easy to record and make mistakes in front of strangers, not strangers, but in front of people watching you.
Yeah, it's a lot different. It's a lot different when you're live versus pre-recorded, for sure.
Yeah, but even when somebody's in the room recording you, now I'm more self-conscious about what I'm recording. But I knew with Sarah I could get by, right? So Sarah was like, great, I have, on my free time, I want to come over and I want to learn how to do this stuff anyway. And she was there by my side as I recorded this entire course meant for beginners. So instead of learning like many of us have to do, we're throwing ourselves to the wind kind of thing. She watched me do everything, and now she's an expert in all the things. So we often talk about that because, actually, Sarah, tell me, what was that like for you?
Yeah, let's hear it from Sarah.
First, Emily's like, you want to come hang out with me and, help me do this stuff? I was like, of course I want to go do this. Seems like so much fun. I didn't realize how much I was going to learn in the process of doing this. I was just hanging out with my friend, needed some, time away from my life. It was just, good quality time. And I learned the machines and it's been wonderful. I was given something that I think a lot of people would love to have, is that hands-on, one-on-one experience. I didn't realize what I was going to learn. and now sometimes I'm like, oh, I should have been paying more attention, because I was also doing the videoing and like angles and stuff like that. So in my head, I was thinking, not less about the content, more about the videoing part. But I just we've been working together now. I guess it's been about 5 years that I've been doing this with you. And it's just, I can't believe how much I've learned and how much I love this world that I've been introduced to. So, if anybody is given that opportunity to work with an expert, I don't even think Emily was necessarily an expert at that time. But we really, she was, she only had the laser for a short time, but they're doing it. I can't believe how much information she knows. And like, I'm constantly still amazed by the things that she can do. Even
That's
making
one of your favorite questions. Like, how do you know that? I'm like, I don't know.
She figures it out. But even today, she had to make a bow, and she made a bow. And she has all this talent and all this information in her brains. And I know she constantly has people reaching out for her for help, and she does. She'll take 15, 20 minutes, get on that with them, help them, get through a situation. And I just love that about her, is that she's just wanting people to know how to use their machines and what they're capable of doing. And to me, it's wonderful to be around. And I'm just constantly learning from her.
Well, the thing is, like, it was just a fun time. It was amazing time.
It was very much fun.
And people always ask me, Emily, can I come to your shop and shadow you and train with you? And I'm like, as much as I would love to do that, it's just not feasible with my business model. I can't pull it off. And people have asked me for years, who teaches in-person training? But there's really nobody to point them to until possibly now.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, my friend?
That's right. Nice segue. Yeah, that was really good. No, those are all really good points. We were talking a little bit before the show about what different learning styles and the way people learn. Some people are real analytical and they like learning off of an instruction book. Other people like watching videos. God forbid, I watch a lot of, when I need to know something, jump on YouTube and see if anybody else can teach me how to do it. But when it comes to certain things, some people really, learn fast, and not just fast, but like it really sinks in when you get to actually get trained in person. Like I remember over a decade ago when I bought my first fiber laser, which is a whole other story that we can talk about. But the company, and keep in mind, this was a 30-watt fiber laser. Nobody even knew what the word fiber laser was, right? It was $35,000 for a 30-watt fiber laser, which is like, kind of ridiculous
Unheard of now.
From where we are. But it was very new. And the company said, would you like to come out and train with us on how to use it for 2 days? And they said, all you have to do is, it wasn't free, is buy a plane ticket and we'll train you on the machine here. And I said, absolutely. And I took me and my employee, I flew us out there, and it was the best thing I ever did, because I actually got to put my hands on the same machine, understand this machine, and go home with like a huge jump start on how to operate a fiber laser, and I came from knowing nothing about fiber lasers. So with that said, I am considering, and I appreciate you letting me come on and talk a little bit about this. I'm considering later this year hosting a weekend, very small group of people, up to 10 seats here with me here in my shop. And it is a full hands-on, or I'm still formulating it, workshop on all the different machines here. So fiber laser, if you want, the UV laser, the CO2 laser, and it's actually going to be a hands-on how-to workshop, kind of designed around what people really want to know the most about, including best business practices, a little bit of marketing, a little bit of everything that I've learned in the past over a decade. I want to share that on a weekend workshop, full 8 hours every single day, right? And I need everyone's help to try to gauge what people are really wanting. And so I have a survey out, which Emily has the link
Put
to,
that up right there.
and it's a very short Google survey. And I am trying to grab as much data as I can from everyone, so I can make this workshop the best that it could possibly be and bring the most value to these, very small group of people that want to attend and jumpstart their skill level dramatically by learning in person with me. Yeah. So that's it. That's it.
This is unheard of, my friends. Like, for years, people keep asking me, where can we go if we can't go to see you? Like, nobody can really offer it. The logistics of it is hard to do, right? Especially, you heard him. He runs a full-time business already, and a full-time content creation business. Like, I have no idea how you're going to fit it in, but I believe in you, my friend. I really do.
On the weekend. That's how we fit it in.
That sounds amazing.
He also has a family,
That's right.
So,
yeah.
So listen, if you at the very least help him get some data and some information so he can put this thing together and make it amazing for the lucky 10. It almost feels like you need to give out like Wonka tickets or something, like.
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing I mentioned is that actually when we're done collecting all the surveys, we're going to let it go for about another week. I am picking one person that filled out that survey, and you will get a 1-hour private consultation with me, just like this. And I charge for those normally. And it's a great way if you want to also get ahead and pick my brain and get a private mentoring session with me. I will be picking one lucky person, and I'll let you know in about a week who that is. That's for anyone who takes their time to help me fill out that survey.
For those of you asking, if there's a QR code up on the screen, that should take you to the survey. But I will also, I can put it in the chat. I just don't know if it will hyperlink for you guys if I do that. So let me try that really quick.
I just did it. I just scanned it in the corner and I got the survey here.
Okay, cool.
Well, this is the question though. What if you're watching from your phone? Then how do you scan it?
Yeah, I always wonder that too.
Take a picture and do it later on another phone.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I guess so. So with that said, I'm gonna try and link it in the chat anyway, and see if you guys can let us know if a link hyperlinks for you guys. Hold on, let me look that up.
Yeah, screenshot. There it is. Yeah. But yeah, that's that'd be the first time. I mean, I do teach in person at like the APA show, and I've done some live educational events, but this is strictly like no fluff, no funny business. Like, you're coming out here to get trained on how to use the machines that you've purchased in a efficient, effective, meaningful way. Training is what it is. It's not a networking event. It's not, it's just come here and see what it's really like and get your hands on the machine and do projects, make mistakes, super important, make mistakes, and then have, we'll figure out what happened and get it right,
Well, you know what? The other thing about it though is as wonderful as it is that we get to go to events and do things in public, there are hundreds of people at those events. And so you only have so much time that you can give to each person individually. We're talking about a whole weekend of undivided attention just on you and your learning needs. You and 9 other lucky people,
Yes. So, I mean, this is an exploratory stage right now, but it's something that I really want to do. I love teaching. I love educating. I didn't know that until I started YouTube. Yeah. I had no idea how much I enjoyed being a teacher, being an educator, until I actually got into YouTube, and I was like, wow, this is actually really cool. And then now I can do it in person too. So it's something that I'm really passionate about.
Well, I think it's really awesome. There's something to be said for making mistakes with the security of someone who knows how to fix it. That is so true.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, when I started, there was nobody over my shoulder. Like I said, there's nobody that even really knew what a fiber laser was. So I didn't have anybody to go to. There was no YouTube. There was no laser engraving 911 on YouTube. There was like zero content, very little education on how to do everything that we, I think, take for granted today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was a very different world 10 years ago.
Listen, we already have someone who wants to reserve their spot. Cameron wants top of the list.
Wonderful. I love the enthusiasm.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so make sure you fill out the survey. As people were saying, you can screenshot it from your phone if you're watching it on your phone. And then when you go to the photos, you hold down the QR code. Apparently, that's what's going to make it work. All right, guys?
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so let me ask you this. Are you going to have, like, how are you thinking, like, what's the structure going to look like? How many days? 2 days or 3 days?
Two full days is kind of it's still on the whiteboard right now, but it's like 2 full days, you know, Saturday and Sunday. Obviously, I think one of those nights we'll all go out to dinner together. That would be fun. But I really want to maximize the amount of time here at the shop.
Yeah.
And since we have the CO2 lasers, we have the UV lasers, we even have the UV make here, you know, like we have stations. It would really just be kind of splitting up the groups. I'll have my other employee, Ren, here, who's well, his name is Ren, but he's like my Sarah, you know, like, you know, so he'll probably take half the group over to the CO2s and for a little bit, and then we'll just kind of rotate everybody through. So I'll be with people over on the fiber laser, then we'll switch to the UV laser. If you want to skip the UV, we can, you know, we can get you on another piece of equipment. And then there'll also be, I think, some presentation involved when it comes to, you know, how did I promote my business? You know, what are the important things to know when you're reaching out to other businesses? So there'll be a little sit down classroom stuff going on too about how to present yourself and your business in a professional manner, you know, so people take you seriously, you know.
Love it.
Yeah. But I really think a lot of it's really going to come down to fixturing things up, setting up fixtures, you know, laser cutting, you know, tips and tricks around that, like really get hands on the machine with some educational stuff as well. Yeah.
I think this is going to, I don't know if you're ready for the amount of people that are going to want to take you up on this, Michael.
Well, you know? It can only be 10 because I'm not in a huge workshop. So
you're one person. It
can only be 10.
All right. I like it. Okay. So now that you guys know, help spread the word, help him get the information he needs so that he can actually put together something like this and make it a regular thing, right? Because after you do it the first time, I would assume you might do it quarterly or something. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I was thinking like a couple times a year. Yeah, for sure. You know, just like you with Laser Maker Con, you learn a lot from the first one, and I'm sure that I will learn quite a bit from the first one. And every time we do it again, it will get better and better. And who knows, maybe we'll get into a bigger space and it could be 20 people next time, you know?
Speaking of bigger spaces, how is your new space?
Well, I wish it was bigger. I honestly wish it was bigger. But it's great. You know, I'm here. I think I didn't, you know, when places are empty, you see it and you're like, this is perfect.
Huge.
And then you start moving in that, you know, 120 watt CO2 laser, and then, you know, other equipment, tables, chairs, workbenches, and it gets real small real quick. So we've had to get very creative on how we fit everything. And I have a little YouTube studio in here too, and that takes up a chunk as well. So I think that I would love to have, you know, you can't, but behind this wall behind me is the other 1,500 square foot that I'm hoping that he leaves one day so I can knock this wall down and take it. Cause I think 2,000 to 3,000 square foot would be perfect for me. Absolutely perfect. That would have been better, even 2,000, but I love the space. It's great. Have a little office. We have
How big is your space now?
1,500.
Okay. Yeah, mine too.
Yeah. 1,500, 2,000 be great. 3,000 be perfect.
And we're busting at the seams here, aren't we,
Busting
Sarah?
at the seams.
Always.
We never have enough room. Never.
Yeah.
I was thinking you're going to get that 3,000 square feet and you're still not going to have enough room. You're going to be like,
Oh my-
"Wait, now I need another one."
We find ways to fill things up way too quickly, right?
Yeah.
So, to know,
Well,
do you have any idea? Would you do a weekend with a focus on one machine?
I do that currently.
Oh.
There's some relatively local people, a few, not many, that have hired me to come here and do a full day or 2 days on one specific machine. Usually it's businesses that request that because they've purchased the equipment to laser engrave their own items in their factory.
Yeah.
And so they'll come here and they just ask me to train them for the whole weekend, or
Nice.
train their team. So I have done that.
So
I'll tell you, if you can get in with the group, it will be more cost effective,
right,
than having me one-on-one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
good point. Sumita, hey there. She says I want to join too, but
Hey, Sumita.
I don't think that's the idea. I think it's for people, right?
Yeah.
If not, it's all gonna turn into like a big party. Let's see. Woody needs his own camera. I agree. He went to the dog spa yesterday, so he's looking extra cute. Let's see. I had a thought here and it left me. I'm a goldfish. I always spread as big as my space. I know, like it's hard. It's very hard. And we're constantly getting new equipment, and we're in an industry where there's new things constantly coming out.
I was just going to say that, like, that's the thing with the YouTube channel is, like, part of what I do is review machines. So, and sometimes I continue to use those machines, and sometimes I review them and they live somewhere else or they go on to another place, but they take up space, and every little box, every little crate, every little everything, takes up space. Louisiana hobby guy, he knows what I'm talking about.
I mean, we all do. It's like I feel you. I feel you, my friend. That's why more space is better. Okay, let's see. Speaking of equipment that we review, all right, you brought up that you have the Eufy in your shop, and I told people we were going to talk a little bit about UV printing.
Yeah.
First of all, let me know in the comments. I better see that you people watched yesterday's video, okay? My people here that are my regulars here. It was really good, and it was a lot of work because you want to do it justice, especially when you're quote unquote comparing, even though this clearly was not, like, you can't compare them. They're two different machines made for two different purposes. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I basically showed some of the differences in running a Eufy Make and running a Pro printer like my Mimaki 6042. And thankfully, we've got Sarah here, who is practically a UV printing expert now, and Amanda here too. So we were all three of us, we were like diving into these comparisons. But how has UV printing changed your business, Michael? I'm really curious because how long have you had the Eufy now? A year?
Yeah, I've had it for over a year. I was one of the first people to have it when it first came out, because it was very new and very exciting. But I just wanted to say really quick before I answer your question that I did watch your whole video.
Yay! What'd you think?
I may or may not have been driving while I watched it, but anyway, I wasn't, I listened and watched a little. So, but anyway, it was a very good video. And I think it's amazing that, Eufy Make was like, yeah, it's totally okay to compare. Because you said that at the beginning of the video, you were like, I can't believe that they said it's okay for me to compare the Eufy Make to a professional, multi-$1,000, $30,000+ printer. And I think that you gave it justice. You were very clear about there is a huge difference when you invest $40,000 or plus in a UV printer. There's a huge difference. Of course, you're going to be able to print those things in under 2 to 3 or 4 minutes that take 9 minutes on the Eufy Make. But look what you paid for, you know. And I think you did a really good job of comparing the reality of it and really putting those machines in their place where
Yeah.
they belong and what they're for. And I think they both have a place in the market. I absolutely think they both have a place. When you're
100%.
done with your Eufy and your orders are you can't keep up, it's time to check out a Mamaki. You'll know. When your Eufy make has smoke coming out of it because you're using it so much and you're buying tons and tons of ink and you can't keep up, you'll know when it's time. This is a great introductory tool to get into UV printing is what it
Like
is. Great.
I was definitely, again, like you said, I was like, are you sure? Like I had a conversation with, I'm like, it's gonna be very noticeable. And they were like, no, we want you to, like, they're very in, like, they know their lane. Like their lane is the person who just wants to get started without going all in, and so it was really fun to make. I had a really great thought here and it left. I don't know where the hell it went.
Well, anyway, you asked me how it's changed my business.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So one of the things that, I would say what I've been using it for the most is like adding a spot of color to something that we're already engraving, but I was able to like upcharge and make something really, really special. Example, a couple weeks ago, customer came in with one of those, what are they called? Pledge paddles, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And he wanted all the Greek characters engraved on it. And I looked at it and I was like, hey, do you have the crest for the school? Like at the PNG file. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I have that. And I said, send it to me. In the mock-up, I showed him just the engraving, but then I showed him the paddle engraved with the crest in full color at the top near the handle. Right. And he was like, oh man, no brainer, extra $45 on top of the regular engraving. And so I threw that in the Eufy make, used the embossment 3D relief feature to raise the crest. So it looked like a shield, like a real shield.
Yeah.
And I put it right at the top there. And it was just like, that's how I see it's like adding a little bit of splash to these other items that are already being engraved has worked out really well as an upsell. And when you show them color, they usually always go for it.
Yeah.
Another way I used it is this guy brought in these acrylic display cases for action figures, right? And I didn't know if they were acrylic or like plastic. Because, extruded acrylic, little lesson here, extruded acrylic, if it was, doesn't engrave frosted white. It engraves clear. If you have cast acrylic, like we all use in our stuff, it engraves that frosted white color. I said, you know what? What if we could put decals where he wanted the engravings? One was for Indiana Jones, another one was for Star Wars. So I used the Eufy make to print out UV DTF full color decals to put on these acrylic display cases. And it was like, I still charged him the same as what I was going to charge to engrave the boxes, but now he had full color and he was like super stoked. So there's two examples of how I've been using the machine for smaller jobs and making a really good profit on just a few little touches of color on things.
I really feel like having both is like a match made in heaven, the laser and the UV printer together. My thought came back to me. By the way, if you're wondering what I'm doing here, we make coffee live every Wednesday. So I'm making Cuban coffee. And if you are you a coffee drinker or no?
Yeah, but not as fancy as
fancy. Well, listen, my plan, I have a little booth at the Next Level Laser Conference, by the way, and my plan is to make coffee in the morning. So if you want free Cuban coffee during the event, come over to that.
Oh, I'm going to come get some for that for sure.
Yeah. Side note though, but my thought that left me that's coming back. So one of the reasons my channel popped off when it did was because I was basically the first woman on YouTube to not have a glow forge and show how to run like an industrial type of laser, right? And I think what that did is it showed a lot of people that were getting multiple glow forges, that they could get one machine for the same, if not less, that would produce what the two were producing. And so the reason I say that is because I kind of feel like that is what the video I released yesterday is going to do for people. now they really see a significant difference. And now they know, like, if you are growing your Eufy make, maybe the answer isn't necessarily having a Eufy make farm, but maybe the answer is upgrading to a machine that can do the equivalent of what 2 or 3 or 4 machines could do. You know what I mean? Now they know.
Yeah.
Like, they know, right? They can't say they don't know, or that they didn't.
That's right. And some people will go the farm route, you know, till they're like, you know, like our shops busting at the seams and they're just it's too much. You know, it's one thing to do a 3D printing farm, right? Like that, you know, that makes more sense. But like a Eufy make, I'm sure Eufy make would love it if people built a Eufy make farm. Of
They
course
will. I'm sure
of
they
course
will.
they will. But also consider this, that as long as the Eufy make continues to be successful and everybody's enjoying it, I have no doubt that they will come out with like the Eufy make E2 or something like that that has like dual print heads, you know, and a bigger bed size, you know, bigger ink cartridges, you know, like if they continue to be successful. So, but yeah, absolutely. You know, I think you could make a little farm, but eventually, yeah, you're going to want to get like a Mamaki. You know, if you're really going to go full time and this is what you're going to do, you're going to want a professional UV printer. But I do want to say this, you know, both LogoJet, Mamaki, all the other ones, none of them don't do kind of the same kind of 3D relief embossing that the Eufy make offers. And I know that takes up a lot of ink and it's a very specialized feature. But man, for small little color added to things, it really adds a cool effect. You know, when you do that, and yeah, it's a very special effect that can be added to products that really wows at least my customers. You know,
It just takes, you can do it. Actually, it's just the learning curve to do it it's not a click of a button kind of thing. Like, you have to individually go in and set the layers per color.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I know you can do.
It's not user friendly.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
They make it
another
really
thing
easy.
Another thing about the Eufy make too is that it travels well. You know, you can take it to, you know, show where this machine, you know, here we're not traveling with it anywhere ever. So that's another thing. If you're doing markets and stuff, you can use it.
Which I want to do. I'm sure you have plans to do that, Michael.
Yes. I don't know if I'm going to take it out mobily. I do have a live event coming up next. Oh man, and about on the 7th on my channel. So I'll be talking a lot about different ways to use the Eufy make on the live event. So little plug there, little pre-plug. I'll be letting everybody know, but it's coming up on the 7th. It's also on their website. So everybody, it's an hour and a half live crazy Eufy make live printing event. Like, yeah, I don't get nervous very often, but you know, there's a lot going on in an hour and a half, and it's all around the Eufy make, and there will be some awesome giveaways going on.
And because there's so much going on, it's hard not to get distracted, right? Because like you need to make sure the machine's there's not going to have like a head collision for some random thing is going to make it not work properly live while everybody's watching you. Be attentive to the people in the comments. Make sure you don't miss your announcements and giveaways. And there's a lot going on.
Is that going to be on your YouTube channel?
It is. And they're going to like double stream it over on their site as well. It'll work. It'll be fine. I always do this before the live streams. It'll be fine. It's always fine.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Do the best we can.
And the mistakes are great too, because then you tell people what not to do and, you know, how to do better the next time. You know, mistakes are a part of this process.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
hold on. Somebody else here was asking. So Moni, or is it, I'm sorry, yeah, Moni, right? And Danny, what kind of magnets are you selling? The ones that Eufy sends you or different ones? I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. And where have you been selling them at? Like at your shop, like at farmer's market, craft show? Share all the details.
What are you pricing them out, since we're all curious about pricing of them?
Yeah, I really, really feel strongly that the Eufy make is really good at printing small batch items that can very easily turn into a really nice profit. Yes, it can do super big fancy prints, and it can do like the full bed if you want, but it's a lot of ink to do that. And it's I don't see it as a full size giant things all the time. That's what a professional UV printer is for. But it is nice to know that if you want to print a big picture, or something like Emily did on her video, the eagle door hanger, you can. I just don't think it's designed to do that all the time. Doing big full size prints day in and day out. If you find yourself that's what you're going to be doing for your primary product, you're probably going to want to look into something a little bit more professional. But for small items and small batches, it's so good at that.
Michael's Donna, his YouTube channel is Laser Engraving 911. I've got it up here on the QR code, but I'm going to switch that back to the survey. For anybody who's joined the live later, if you missed the good stuff, Michael's put together a survey because he's going to be potentially running a power weekend with only 10 spots, and he needs some data to make that amazing. Okay, so Laser Engraving 911 if you joined us later in the chat. I've got a couple of things starred here. People were asking questions and I don't want to miss it.
Sure.
Excuse me.
Oh my God, what was that?
It was a hiccup.
That was a hiccup?
Yeah. Sorry. Heidi wants to know if it prints on metal. I haven't. Have we printed on the Eufy with metal yet, Sarah?
No.
I don't think we have. Have you, Michael?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And how did it do? Did it hold up?
It has held up great. It has held up fantastic. So anytime I'm going to print on metal, there's a lot of adhesion promoters out there that are for different materials. But honestly, I've never used any of them. And what I personally like to use is a product that you can buy on Amazon. It's not expensive. It's called methanol. I talk about it all the time on different videos. I use it to clean up acrylic. I use it to clean up wood. I use it to prepare metal surfaces as an adhesion promoter because it does such a good job at removing oils and things like that. So that's what I use, and I've never had an issue printing on metal.
You know what else you can do though, even though
let's hear your tip on that.
Well, no, even though we have firsthand experience, okay, he's done well with metal. You can also do what's called a scratch test to see if something has really held on to the surface. So you just take a blade, okay, and you're gonna make several scratches in like what's that pattern?
If it's crosshatch?
Like yeah.
Like a crosshatch?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And see, once you do that, if it peels up, then you know that it's not, the adhesion isn't good. But that's typically a test you can do on a bunch of different materials if you're not sure. Speaking of materials on the Eufy Make, when I originally got mine, I was told that it wasn't ideal for hat patches, but I see you're printing on leatherette, no problem.
Yeah, as long as you can absolutely print on leather, you can print on preferably like tanned leather that has kind of a shiny surface. But when you're doing those hat patches, you need to switch out the white ink to the flexible ink.
Oh, see, this is the thing. I was like, I don't want to have
to. Right,
go
there's a flexible ink, and then there's hard white ink.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're gonna print on anything that's flexy, just swap your, put in your flexible ink, and then you can do hat patches. And I've done them. I've pressed them with 320 degrees Fahrenheit. They're fine. Like the patches, they're great.
Okay, but wait a minute. When you're switching out your ink, you also have to run a cleaning cycle, right?
Yeah. You have to do like a flush thing. It will tell you, like when you go to leather or something, it'll say, hey, you need to put in flexible ink. And then, do you want to do that now? It kind of walks you through it, and then you do it. And it's like, okay, now you did this. Now I have to flush this. And, and now you're printing with flexible ink.
Well, you know what, Michael, you just made me realize this because switching out, you can do it. I can do this on my 6042, but it is a way more involved process
Mm-hmm.
than what you just mentioned for switching
Mhm.
out the ink
Mhm.
on the Eufy. So I just kind of chalked it up as it's a big process and it's not going to be worth it, and I'm not going to do it. But you just made it sound like it was as easy as the click of a button, run an inject ink cycle, and put in
Yeah.
a new cartridge.
Yeah, it kind of walks you through it, especially when you go and you pick the material on the software, like
Mhm.
something flexible, like leather or something. It's going to like, hold on, buddy. Like you need to switch to this ink if you want to print on this, and then it just kind of walks you through the paces. But yeah, anytime you're printing on that kind of stuff, that's the best ink to use. Now, ask me if I've just printed on patches with the regular white ink.
That's what I did.
I have, and
Okay.
I have had some positive results that
Okay.
have worked out good. But yes, it will, when you bend that patch like really extreme, it
Mhm.
will crack. Like you'll
Crack.
Yeah.
literally hear the ink crack, right? But you can get away with it. Just a very gentle curve is not going to crack the ink, right?
Okay. Well,
But yeah, that's
we did
what I know.
leatherette, but we did leatherette journals. I didn't do the patches intentionally because I wasn't sure about the bending. But that's good to know that it's an easier process than what I thought.
Yeah, pretty easy.
Okay. Let's see. See, we got a mini Eufy Make farm starting right here.
There you
We
go.
got one with regular and one with flexible.
That's really smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, if you can do it, then yeah, do your flexible ink and your hard ink over there.
Michael, there was somebody asking, can they reach out to you about a potential one-to-one class and cost and pricing?
Yeah, I think that the best way to do that is I'll just put my email in here. No big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Michael at laserengraving911.com. Michael at laser. Yeah, just shoot me an email if you're interested in that, virtual or in person, and I'll get you some pricing. And I don't like doing I usually like doing a full day or like 2 days. I don't like doing like half days. So it's just, if I'm going to be teaching something like that, I really want to just, excuse the term, hammer it in. I really want the person to leave with like, okay, I've got this.
I like it. Yeah, you can. There's too much. Like you need to show them and then give them the opportunity, and then you do it together. Like I can't imagine having to do it in just like an hour or two.
Yeah.
Well, my friends, look at us. We've had quite a discussion here today.
Yeah, we covered all kinds of stuff today.
We did actually. We have 9 more minutes, and I did want to pick your brain about this. I think they might be interested too. So,
okay.
And it's actually not laser related, but kind of. I guess.
Oh yes, yeah. Go ahead.
Hold on. Sorry, we got Great Lakes Laser Surprise. Welcome, guys. Hi. The Osmo Pocket. Just like my beloved little camera.
Yes.
Everybody knows that I love it. But people ask me often if they should get it for content creation. And I'm like, well, I use it for like teaching videos,
Yeah.
I know that I know that I can record vertically and make my shorts that way, but I don't do that. Do you use your Osmo Pocket? I can't show it to you guys because it's the camera that I'm using right now, but I can flip it. It's a great long handheld camera. Do you use it to make short form content that's like portrait mode?
Here's the best I wish I had an affiliate link for DJI.
You should. I do. Well, I have it on Amazon.
Here's the truth, right? Watch the last 20 videos on my channel. They were all filmed with the Osmo Pocket 3.
Same.
So if you think that looks pro and professional, then the answer is absolutely. Whether it's a vertical video or full 16:9, I think it does a great job. I'm not a big camera guy.
Yeah.
I wanted something I could put on a tripod that has good microphones and just record.
Easy.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. We do a lot of editing, but the raw video was all shot on the Osmo 3. So I say, yes, you can.
Can I tell you that makes me feel so good because I love your content. I love the way it's put together. And I always in my mind you are using like the fanciest equipment. But and I've spent so much money on cameras, but they're always clunky and I'm always moving around and I need different angles and this thing is like handheld and easy. So to hear that you do the same, what?
Yeah.
They're really good. But I'm not asking for people who make like most people, most of our people, they're not making like long form videos. They want to make short form content, you know, for like Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
You also use this for that.
Mm-hmm. And that's look at my shorts too. Those were all shot on the Osmo as well. So it's great for shorts, films vertically, really, really nice. Either way, I don't use my phone for shorts. I use the Osmo. Yeah.
I need to do that because I have way too much stuff on my phone that needs to be like my phone. All right, everybody. Well, listen, this was awesome. Michael, you're the best. I'm going to remind you guys right now up on the screen, if you're watching and you came in later, okay, Michael's putting together a weekend in live hands-on training for just 10 people, 10 lucky people. But he's got a survey out so that he makes sure that he puts this together, you know, to the best of his ability. So if you want to be helpful, a way to thank him for all the amazing content and knowledge that he's constantly sharing with us, go fill out the survey. And if you're on your phone, take a screenshot right now. And then once we're done, go into your photos and hold down the QR code and it will take you to the survey. At least that's what everybody else.
Yeah, that would be great. Just want to really try to get as much info from everyone as possible. It really helps. I think it's going to really help us build a great weekend workshop here.
I love it. Well, listen, thank you for everything that you do. I'm so glad you came on the show. Thanks for
having me.
You know, I don't have like a script or anything here. We're just winging it.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Thanks for having me. It was a good break from my day. Now I get to go back to everything else here. It's mostly YouTube and stuff today. So
you got to finish your UV Ink Fest video.
That's right. Yep, that's right.
I don't have a link for that set up, but both Michael and I are teaching at UV Ink Fest in like 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
Soon.
Yeah, about a week and a half. Yeah, something like that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And we have to get our stuff in by Friday.
Yep.
Okay.
I know.
Do it.
Gotta go by.
Okay. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you guys here same time, same place, 1 p.m. next week on the Maker Hour. Wishing you every success this week, guys. Bye.
See ya.